You, being a Hindu, are not loyal to America, and there's no space for someone like you in a high-ranking, secretive job like FBI Director. The words echoed through the White House briefing room, sharp and accusatory, as the liberal reporter stood with a smirk, his eyes locked on Kash Patel, the newly appointed FBI Director. The room fell silent, the air thick with tension, as every journalist, staff member, and official turned their gaze toward Patel, waiting for his reaction. The reporter didn't stop there. He pressed further, his voice dripping with disdain. Reports are circulating that a few illegal immigrants were Hindu, and because they were from your religion, you allegedly saved them. This just proves you're not loyal to America. You should be fired immediately. Kash Patel stood behind the podium, his expression calm, almost serene, despite the vicious attack on his character, his faith, and his loyalty to the nation he had sworn to protect. The seal of the White House on the podium seemed to gleam under the bright lights, a symbol of the immense responsibility he carried. Patel adjusted the microphone slightly, his movements deliberate, and then he looked directly at the reporter. His eyes were steady, unflinching, and in that moment, everyone in the room could sense that something profound was about to happen. Patel's response would not only address the accusation, but also reveal the depth of his character, his devotion to America, and his unshakable integrity as the leader of one of the most powerful law enforcement agencies in the world. Patel cleared his throat softly, his voice steady and measured as he began to speak. "I want to thank you for your question," he said, his tone devoid of any sarcasm or bitterness. The room remained silent, the reporter's smirk fading slightly as Patel continued. "It gives me an opportunity to address not just your concerns, but also to speak to the American people about what it means to serve this country, regardless of where you come from, what you believe, or how you worship." He paused for a moment, letting his words settle over the room. The journalists shifted in their seats, some leaning forward, others scribbling notes furiously. Patel's calm demeanor was disarming, and it was clear that he was not about to let the reporter's provocation derail him. "First, let me address the accusation about my loyalty," Patel said, his voice growing firmer but still composed. "I was born in New York, raised in a family that taught me to love this country and its values. My parents came to America as immigrants, seeking the same dream that millions of others have pursued, a chance to build a better life. They worked hard, they sacrificed, and they instilled in me a deep respect for the opportunities this nation provides. I've spent my entire career in public service, from my time as a prosecutor to my roles in national security, and now as the director of the FBI. Every decision I've made, every action I've taken, has been in service of the American people and the Constitution I swore to uphold." Patel's words carried a quiet strength, a conviction that resonated with everyone in the room. The reporter who had mocked him shifted uncomfortably, his earlier confidence waning as Patel continued. "My faith, which you've chosen to highlight, is a deeply personal part of my life," Patel said, his voice steady but filled with a subtle intensity. "I am a Hindu, yes, and I'm proud of my heritage. But my faith does not define my loyalty to this country. If anything, it strengthens it. Hinduism teaches values of duty, integrity, and service. Values that align perfectly with the principles of this nation. I don't see my religion as a barrier to my role as FBI director. I see it as a source of strength, a reminder of the importance of doing what is right, even when it's difficult." The room was utterly still now, the weight of Patel's words hanging in the air. He had addressed the personal attack with grace, but he wasn't finished. He turned his attention to the second part of the reporter's accusation, the claim that he had shown favoritism to illegal immigrants because of their shared religion. Patel's expression hardened slightly, not out of anger, but out of a determination to set the record straight. "Let me be very clear," he said, his voice cutting through the silence like a blade. "The FBI does not operate on the basis of religion, race, or personal bias. Our mission is to enforce the law, protect the American people, and uphold justice, equally and impartially. The suggestion that I would allow my personal beliefs to influence my decisions as FBI director is not only baseless, but it's an insult to the men and women of the FBI who work tirelessly every day to keep this country safe. Patel leaned forward slightly, his hands resting on the podium, his gaze piercing as he looked directly at the reporter. You mentioned reports of illegal immigrants being Hindu and claimed that I saved them because of our shared religion, he said, his tone firm but controlled. I'd like to know the source of those reports, because I can assure you they are entirely false. The FBI has been working diligently to address illegal immigration, as I outlined in my briefing earlier. We've made significant progress in identifying, apprehending, and ensuring the deportation of individuals who have entered this country illegally, regardless of their background, their faith, or their nationality. Every case is handled according to the law, with no exceptions. If you have evidence to the contrary, I invite you to present it, but baseless accusations and rumors have no place in this discussion. The reporter's face flushed, his earlier bravado replaced by a visible unease. Patel's response had been direct, but it was his composure that made the moment so powerful. He hadn't raised his voice, hadn't lashed out, hadn't given in to the provocation. Instead, he had dismantled the accusation with facts, logic, and an unwavering commitment to the truth. But Patel wasn't done. He straightened up, his expression softening slightly as he addressed the broader implications of the reporter's question. I think it's important to take a step back and reflect on what this moment represents, Patel said, his voice taking on a more reflective tone. America is a nation of immigrants, a nation built on the idea that people from all walks of life, from all corners of the world, can come together to create something greater than the sum of its parts. My story is not unique. It's the story of millions of Americans who have worked hard, who have contributed to this country, and who have proven their loyalty through their actions, not their words. To suggest that someone's faith or heritage disqualifies them from serving this nation is to undermine the very principles that make America what it is. Patel's words struck a chord, and several journalists in the room nodded in agreement. The reporter who had spoken out now sat silently, his pen still in his hand, his earlier confidence replaced by a look of uncertainty. Patel continued, his voice steady but filled with a quiet passion. I took an oath to protect this country, to uphold its laws, and to serve its people, he said. That oath is not diminished by my religion, my background, or the color of my skin. If anything, it's strengthened by the values I was raised with, values of integrity, duty, and service. I am here to do a job, and I will do it to the best of my ability, regardless of the challenges or the criticisms that come my way. The room remained silent, the weight of Patel's words settling over everyone present. He had addressed the accusation head-on, but he had also used the moment to remind everyone of the broader ideals that define America. It was a masterclass in leadership, a demonstration of how to handle adversity with grace, dignity, and unwavering conviction. Patel paused for a moment, letting his words sink in, before continuing. I could choose to take offense at your question, he said, his tone measured. I could choose to respond with anger or to pursue legal action for the defamatory nature of your remarks. But I won't. Because that's not who I am, and that's not what this country needs right now. We need unity, not division. We need leaders who can rise above personal attacks and focus on the work that matters, protecting our communities, upholding the law, and ensuring that every American has the opportunity to thrive. Patel's humility in that moment was striking. He had every right to be angry, to lash out, to call out the reporter for his unprofessional and discriminatory remarks. But instead, he chose a different path, one of kindness, understanding, and a commitment to the greater good. It was a choice that left everyone in the room speechless, a choice that revealed the true depth of his character and his dedication to his role as FBI director. As for your call for my resignation, Patel said, a faint smile tugging at the corners of his mouth, I'll let my work speak for itself. The American people deserve a leader who is focused on results, not rhetoric. Under my leadership, the FBI will continue to go after those who break our laws, whether they're illegal immigrants, domestic terrorists, or anyone else who threatens the safety and security of this nation. We will do so with integrity, with fairness, and with an unwavering commitment to justice. That's my promise to the American people, and I intend to keep it. With that, Patel stepped back from the podium, his expression calm and composed. The room erupted into a flurry of activity as journalists began scribbling notes, whispering to one another, and preparing their follow-up questions. But the reporter who had mocked Patel remained silent, his earlier bravado replaced by a look of stunned disbelief. Patel's response had been nothing short of extraordinary, a powerful blend of strength, humility, and devotion to his country that left everyone in the room in awe. Patel took a few more questions, addressing each one with the same calm professionalism he had shown throughout the briefing. But it was his response to the reporter's accusation that would be remembered, a moment that would go down in history as a testament to his character and his leadership. As the briefing came to a close, Patel thanked the press for their time and stepped away from the podium, his head held high, his resolve unshaken. He had faced a vicious attack on his faith, his loyalty, and his integrity, and he had emerged stronger than ever, a true embodiment of what it means to serve America with honor and dignity. The journalists filed out of the room, their minds buzzing with the weight of what they had just witnessed. Patel's words would soon spread across the nation, sparking conversations about faith, loyalty, and the role of diversity in leadership. For many, it was a reminder of the power of grace under pressure, a lesson in how to handle adversity with strength and humility. And for Kash Patel, it was just another day in his mission to serve the country he loved, a mission he would continue to pursue with unwavering dedication, no matter the challenges that lay ahead.